Alright, round 4. We're up against the Raging Flump, who plays the Esper familiar combo deck that we are all familiar with. And he's going to try and mill us out, so yes, we would like to play first. What does he have for sideboard type against us? Prismatic Strands can work. So it's pretty much prismatic strands. I don't think he'd bring in Lone Missionary. So what do we think about this hand? Just doesn't do enough. Not enough land, one land, no auras to enchant. Full mulligan. Alright, this hand looks a little better. We can't cast a creature, but we get 2 extra draws off of Abundant Growth. So hopefully we'll draw into land number 2 and play a Ledgewalker eventually. Alright, if you hear some noise in the background, that's my heating system. The pipes here like to make a lot of noise. So it's interesting playing up against the Raging Flump in the bonus round, because you often see that he goes 0-2 drop, so he's been having a good night. I don't want to enchant the plant just because if he has Snap, he can target our plant token with it, so I don't want to leave us open for that. So we'll just run out a Ledgewalker. Alright, our draws have been pretty good so far, but the familiar deck can in fact get some crazy draws. I've lost to it as early as turn 3 before. So even though we mulled to 6, he also mulled to 6, so that's pretty even. Even there. Even Steven. I think we can both Aura Gnarlid and Ethereal Armor here, which will be nice. The Aura Gnarlid is vulnerable to Snap though, but the Ledgewalker is not. Oh, it is potential. We could just lose here though. Alright. Now I could use Krufix's Insight to look for a Rancor, then try and Rancor the Ledgewalker. But I don't think he's going to block with the Cloud of Fairies anyways. He could also block with the Cloud of Fairies and then snap it back to his hand to use Snap as an effective gain 5 life, but he elects not to, and I think that's the right play on his part. Alright, that was a very good draw for us, but still want to use Krufix's Insight. Rancor. Alright, that worked pretty well. Get rid of these. Alright, so we won game 1. We had a very good draw there after we mulled to 6, but our opponent also mulled to 6, so that's even, and then we just drew pretty much as good as we could possibly draw on. So I'm going to bring in Flaring Pain, Archers. No Young Wolf. Young Wolf is pointless. The Archers can kill the fairies, so it makes it difficult for them to blink. Or should we say, ghostly flicker them. Relic is great because he needs to use his graveyard to get them the ghostly flicker back. And let's see. Could bring in Standard Bearer with the idea that they'll have to target it with his snaps as opposed to his Cloud of Fairies, but I don't think that's worth doing. And so the only thing I'd imagine he's bringing in is these 2 prismatic strands. So now we've brought in 5 cards. Because his deck can be very explosive, I'll just take out the normal slower cards, Commune and Cryphix's Insight. And we can obviously change this up if we want to later. At least one of the good things about keeping these in when we have Flaring Pain is if we mill it, we can still cast Flaring Pain from our graveyard, assuming we have access to red mana with Abundant Growth. Let's see, we need to take out one more card here. Might as well just take out one Bogle. The only thing that he's going to do to our creatures is potentially snap them. So we really only need one Hexproof creature. And this looks pretty good, so let's submit now and hope we get lucky again. Alright, this seems like a decent opener. We'll have our colors fixed with Abundant Growth. We'll get to make a turn 1 Hexproof and then Rancor it up so we can start with the beats. Alright, I do not mind putting our auras on the Glade Cover Scout, because if he wants to block and lose his familiar, that's fine with me. Archer is an interesting draw here. And his deck can go off very quickly. So now, do I want to play the Rancor to get in 3 damage? Because if I don't play Rancor, I'm not going to get in any damage. Or do I want to play the Archer, and that way next turn it won't be summoning sick, and we can use it to shoot down his fairies. I feel last turn we made it to turn 5, and he didn't go off, so let's just try and begin the beatdown. Next turn, if we don't draw a land, we can still play the Archer. Alright, so he's going to research. He could then play an island and then play a fairy and tap some lands. But I don't think that's very likely. I think the more likely scenario is he's going to play one of his Ravnica bounce lands and then pass. So let's see what happens here. Alright, he plays an Evolving Wilds, that's fine. No more spells from him this turn. And another Abundant Growth. we draw Ethereal Armor, I'll play it, but we just draw another Bogle. So in that case, I'll attack, and I will play the Archer. Now, if he goes off with Cloud of Fairies here, I'll feel pretty silly that I did not play the Archer before, because now the Archer is clearly sick. Alright, first C. Let's see what he does. Top, top, top. Alright, so he topped everything. That's a horrendous sign for us. Your opponent tops 4 cards. That is not good. I'll play another Abundant Growth, just hoping to draw Ethereal Armor. And instead we draw another Hexproof guy, or lady. We will serve the 3, and most likely we will... I can easily see us losing here. Let's see if we're dead. Alright, Cloud of Fairies. Now I could use the Archer right now, so he won't be able to blink both the Muldrifter and the Cloud of Fairies, but if he tries to Ghostly Flicker both of them in response right here, that's when I'll activate the Archer. And here comes the Ghostly Flicker. Now let's see if he has Ghostly Flicker number 2. Party is snapped. So he's drawing tons of cards, untapping lands. Playing more familiars, drawing tons of cards. Now I have this deck as well, and it is not a deck I would want to be playing right now just because we're in the pre-release, which means the servers are overwhelmed, and as you've noticed, I get tons of lag, and one of the biggest problems that this deck has is just dealing with the clock. So the fact that he's 3-0 right now says that he's not really having lag issues. And now he's drawn over half of his deck. And he has all 4 Cloud of Fairies in play right now. Alright, so now he has the combo. He has infinite mana, infinite card draw, and we're just going to lose, but because this one of the hardest things about his deck is the clock, I'm definitely going to make him run through all of it. Just give us the possibility of timing him out in Game 3. So I'll just pause the video here. Alright, we're back. Evidently he didn't just win there, so we got to untap. And he bounced some of our stuff, so not even sure if he cast Capsize or what it was. I'm just gonna play some archers here and pass. Alright, so it was Capsize, so he has Capsize. Did I see that? Did I not look at that on his list, or is he running something new? Alright, that is not in the list that he's running here. So now we have to discard due to... So we really have no chance of winning, and now we're even Steven on time. But it will take him longer to win game 3 than me, so I will just continue to play as is. So we can Capsize just for 2 mana, so we can do it like twice a turn. We'll attack just to make him block and eat up more of his clock. Oh, he's ghostly flickering. Oh, that was something I wasn't thinking about, but we're gonna lose this regardless. Alright, so he gets to win next turn, but he's still playing more creatures, which no real point to doing that, it just takes more of his time. I'll still attack just to make him block. Alright, so now we have roughly a minute on him, and it will take him much longer to takes him longer to win than it does us. So I still think we're positioned fairly well here. Though clearly the Relic of Pretendus isn't any guaranteed way of victory through what he can do. So let's see. Do I want to change anything? Do I want to bring back any Crucifix's Insight here? Not sure what I should change. I definitely do want to keep in the archers because this makes him have to draw a little better to deal with them. I want to keep in the Frying Pan because the possibility of him still having the prevent damage spell. And I think I still want to keep it as is. So I'll take out 1 Bogle for 1 Crucifix. And let's go. Well, now we get to play first. We get the mulligan first. And this we'll keep. It has a turn 1 Scout, turn 2 Rancor, Utopia Sprawl, turn 3 Ancestral Mask. So this looks like a fairly aggressive hand. F8. No reason to fake doing stuff. Alright, Utopia Sprawl here. I'll name green. And now we can play the other Utopia Sprawl and Rancor. And next turn, the Ancestral Mask will be give plus 6/6. So we're definitely getting a pretty fast hand here. And I'm happy to see the relic. We can't really use it this next turn, but with him having just one Karoo land here, it's not likely that he can just go off next turn. But it is possible. You could play a familiar here, play an island, then play Cloud of Fairies untapped, and then just go ridiculous. But he has 8 cards in hand. There's the island. Let's see if he has the familiar. He has nothing, so I'm assuming he is going to play the prevent damage spell. He does. Now I could play the Orono, but that leaves us open to him playing a wall, and then if he plays the wall, he can flash back Prismatic Strands. So I'd rather just leave exiling this open for his end of turn in case he plays the his Sunscape Familiar. There's the Sunscape Familiar. Seagate Oracle, so we can block with that, and we cannot do enough damage to kill him. So I won't even bother exiling with the relic. At least popping it. Now let's see, now he'll probably definitely just flash back, sure. Let's see, if we Abundant Growth. Now if we can draw Ethereal Armor. We have some draws which can we kill him through this now? I think that's according to my math. We have him dead right here. Oh no, he flashed back. All damage is going to be prevented. So I'm just going to keep the relic up. Well, at least now he needs more He can block with the Sunscape and the Seagate Oracle. I mean, there was an idea that I should have played the Aura Gnarler just to get through enough damage, but if he does double block, we are killing his creatures that he needs for his familiar. So right now he has to block with his familiar and the Seagate Oracle. Unless he has, he could have Capsize or another Prismatic Strands. Yeah, if he has Capsize on the Mask, then we're in a little bit of trouble. We can play the Aura Gnarler, but or we could Capsize our Forest here. That's not ideal, but at least next turn we'll have the mana to activate, to play the Aura Gnarler, and then now we can still activate the Relic if he tries to go off on his turn. The Aura Gnarler is not currently lethal, but we're going to crack the Relic end of turn, and we get a draw step. And if we draw one Aura, the Gnarler will be 8 power and swing for lethal. But it looks like here he's going to do some, if he's casting Foresee, he's likely going to hit something pretty impressive, like a Cloud of Fairies, and begin going off. Right now we're at the same time, but on our clock, but we can win just by turning some of our cards sideways. He has to do a lot of juggling. Alright, there's the Cloud of Fairies. Not sure what him playing Evolving Wilds means, unless he's going to search the swamp, play another Cloud of Fairies, and tap the swamp and play one of the black familiars. Alright, well, Missionary gains him some life, so he goes up to 12. He's still going to have to block. Ethereal Armor was a fantastic call. That might mean that we just win now. Yeah, Ethereal Armor, or no, yeah, we just win. Alright, so we went 4-0 2 days in a row, and on Friday when I wasn't recording I went 3-1. So this deck is obviously positioned very well in the current meta, and even if it wasn't, it's still a great deck. So I would definitely recommend running Hexproof right now. Just some interesting thing I noticed here is both Avalanche and Naga Tusaki went 0-2 dropped today. That does not happen very often. And Dane5, who runs Hexproof as well, went 1-2. So I guess it wasn't a good good Hexproof day for Dane5. But Who knows, we might even make first place. I don't think we will with all these other people. Gwent on 1 and 2 are up against each other, so definitely some interesting things to notice here, and I would definitely just recommend running Hexproof right now.